So what's going on guys, Kid is here and welcome back to a brand new video. For today I want to tell you my experience and thoughts about Diablo Immortal Pay to Win. I've been playing about 10 hours every day since release, and then I played in the beta about 300 hours. So overall I have about 600 hours into this game, and I have seen and heard so many players and different content creators talking about Diablo Immortal even though they haven't played the game, and if they have then they barely got to level 30, or few people got to 60 and then quit right away. And then all of these content creators keep making videos about different pay to win mechanics, even though they haven't experienced them. But hey, if one big YouTuber said that this game is pay to win, then I better make 10 different videos about how this game is so bad. My objective with this video is to show you and explain how actually Diablo Immortal works. From a player that is paragon level 61, and I have played and tested every single class and feature that there is. This game is for sure pay to win by anyone's standards, but most players like me, who haven't spent a single dollar, can still enjoy it, and most players who quit this game, most of the time they don't quit because of the pay to win, but they're just misinformed. So if all this sounds interesting to you, then let's get right into it. So Diablo Immortal is pay to win. If you don't like something, then you just don't play it. I personally hate poetry, so guess what? I don't write poetry, I don't read poetry, I don't watch streams about poetry, I just don't include poetry in my life. Straight up guys, if you don't like Diablo Immortal, don't engage into Diablo Immortal. Don't watch videos, don't go into streams, and just forget about this game. At this point I may retitle the video to life advice, but before we can get into anything, I would strongly recommend you to not spend your time hating things. Spend your energy liking and doing the things that you enjoy, and not only your life will become better, but you won't waste other players and content creators' time by putting down the game that they play. Guess what guys, every single person in the world hates pay to win. The producers hate pay to win, the players hate pay to win, the designers, the developers, except few people that are 0.001% like gaming executives and shareholders. The people who make all the money love it and everybody else hates it, except for Bill Gates and Bezos. I hate pay to win just like everybody else. If the game doesn't make money, we don't get the game, and the shareholder and the Blizzard will go bankrupt. So now Blizzard has $20 billion from all the whales that have swam into the Diablo Immortal ocean. We want the money to go to Diablo 4. Will the money go to D4? Absolutely not. We can beg for normalized PvP, will we get it? Probably not. But we will ask anyways. I'm just gonna enjoy the game, enjoy the story, enjoy being rank 100 behind all the other whales, and that's about it. Every single day I get about 3 to 4 enjoyable hours, and over months of playtime I get hundreds of hours free content that is all for free and paid by the whales that everyone hates so much. You know what I haven't been hearing from players is, you know what Kate, I played this game, I gave it a really good shot, I got to level 60, got my all legendary gear, I tried the PvP battlegrounds and the different dungeons, but overall this game sucks. I hate this game, it's not fun. I haven't been hearing this at all. What instead I've been hearing is I know nothing about this game and then I hate it. Or just I hate pay to win in general. Everybody hates pay to win. It's like saying you breathe air. Guys, this is a video game. Play it for fun. Almost certainly that almost none of you will be rank 1. You have no choice. Unless you are a big whale, you will never be rank 1. So play to have fun. If you're gonna have fun then play it, if not then don't. Diablo Immortal is not a bad game, and it won't be a waste of time if you had fun. So let me ask you a question. To those players who have played Diablo 3, is D3 similar to Diablo Immortal? If your answer is yes, then you are either way trolling or completely wrong. Diablo 3 and Diablo Immortal are absolutely different games. Sure, the graphics and the game core mechanics are similar, but besides that, those two games are completely different. It's so funny to me when I hear people saying that Diablo Immortal is Diablo 3.5. It's the same as comparing Harry Potter movies to books. Sure, both of them are similar, but in movies usually the beginning and the end gets copied and the middle gets changed, depending on actors, how fun or boring would these scenes look like, and etc. Diablo Immortal is not Diablo 3.5 or Diablo 4 early beta. Diablo Immortal is a mobile game that took the Diablo name and made it for iOS and Android. Just 1 month before release, we got an announcement that Blizzard will make Diablo Immortal available on PC as well. But hey, if Diablo Immortal is on PC, then it must be a PC game. And if the latest Diablo game was Diablo 3 and the next upcoming game is Diablo 4, then Diablo Immortal must be Diablo 3.5. You absolutely can't and should not compare mobile games to PC games, because if you do, then it would be the same as thinking that Clash of Clans has one of the worst pay-to-win systems in gaming. Guess what? Clash of Clans is super popular and has been popular for over 7 years, and I am right now 21. And I remember playing this game when I was in school, and all of those 7 years I never saw a single streamer or YouTuber saying that Clash of Clans is pay to win, and it is one of the worst PC games ever made. So now at this point you may be saying you can't compare a mobile game to a PC game, or maybe you're just one of those people who don't have phones and just don't care. Whatever might be the reason, you can still download an emulator and play Clash of Clans on PC, on tablet or whatever else you prefer. Diablo Immortal releasing a PC version doesn't make this game a PC game. All that Blizzard did is instead of making you download a third-party software, they made it easy and simple to use on PC. If you don't like the game, you don't have to play it, but comparing a mobile game to a PC is absolutely ridiculous. And if you still think that you should compare them, then please tell me all of your thoughts and criticism for all mobile games, not just Diablo Immortal. You can play all mobile games on PC, so start comparing all the pay-to-win mobile games to a pay-to-win PC game and see what you get. There is a reason why, for example, Clash of Clans doesn't have an official PC launcher, because it is not a PC game. Blizzard for once tried to innovate and make their game easy accessible, and all players did is show other games that if you're a mobile game, then you should only be a mobile game. And even though you could build bigger and better communities by releasing your game to bigger audiences, you should not do it, because then people may think that you're in a PC game and you will get your game rated from 5 out of 5 stars to minus 100 stars. So then moving over to the biggest and most asked question that I get, and it is, why do I still play Diablo Immortal? Well, the answer is pretty obvious, because I enjoy it. I didn't want to make this video another copy of already 20 different videos talking about how pay to win Diablo Immortal is, and why it is a bad game. In short, Diablo Immortal is pay to win, like most mobile games. I enjoy most mobile games, so I enjoy Diablo Immortal for what it is. Like I said, I know that I will never be a top 1 player, and most activities past a certain point are capped. So guess what I do? I do the same thing like in any other game. I play the events and content that I enjoy, and then I come back tomorrow. I personally really liked Warzone when it was released 2 years ago. And guess what? I only played trios and squad game mode, because duos and solos were super boring, where you could barely get any kills, and if you got them, then you had to camp, and then at the end, in the last circle, you would get outcamped by another player. I played Diablo Immortal because I know for what it is. I'm not confusing myself for what it isn't. Diablo Immortal is not a fair game, but I don't think that there's such a thing. The same way that in real life we think that most things are fair and we have freedom, but in reality all we have to do is come across a pay-to-win person and we can get dominated in real life the same as in Diablo. I completely agree that games are made to escape and have fun, but most players play most MMOs because of that aspect from real life, where you can start working out and become strong, or you can start learning a new language and in few months you will be fluent. When you take a look at core principles for most MMOs, it is the same as in real life. Just in MMOs, you see your stats right away, and you can grind and upgrade them. But in real life, not all things can be upgraded, so sometimes we are stuck with the RNG that we got from birth. So then moving over to Diablo 4, and the segment I wanted to make as short as possible, because not a single player has tested this game, and if there are already content creators speculating about Diablo 4, then all that they are doing is just jumping in the good old bandwagon and riding the hype. As I have mentioned in many videos, you should absolutely not be worried about Diablo 4 future. Diablo Immortal is a mobile game, and it's all that it will ever be. No, Diablo 4 won't be pay to win, the same as Diablo Immortal, and even though they have the same name, Diablo, you should not compare them. What I have seen is that a lot of players hate Diablo Immortal, because they for some reason think that this game will be similar, or at least impact D4. And at the time of recording this video, it's absolutely false. Maybe in the future something will change, but as of right now, officially Diablo 4 will cost probably $60, and you can expect something similar to Diablo 3 and Diablo 2. If you're a true Diablo fan, then you will know that Diablo Immortal can be physically a Diablo 3.5, because the Diablo Immortal story is set between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. So please tell me, when you're thinking about the next year's Call of Duty, are you comparing the game that was released 2 Call of Duty games ago, or do you compare against the most recent game? If there is anything similar, then you should look at Diablo 3, because Diablo 4 will most likely be similar to D3. So hopefully at this point I have convinced you that D4 won't ever be similar to Diablo Immortal. even though it was released few months before D4 release. The developer teams are completely different. The only things that are similar is the story and the concept. Diablo 4 was announced 10 years ago, when Diablo Immortal didn't even exist. We don't know why Diablo Immortal was released before D4 and why do it in this way, but for your sake and everyone else's, don't destroy already another game before it's even released. So then moving over to the last and final topic which I want to cover, and it is Diablo Immortal a bad game? We hear and see people saying how awful of a pay-to-win system Diablo Immortal has, but has anyone looked into the actual gameplay and review? Well, if you're interested in that, I made a full Diablo Immortal review from my beta experience, so feel free to check it out, but in a short summary, Diablo Immortal is a great game, and one if not the best MMO game for mobile devices. The graphics that we have are crazy, the way that we basically have zero lag, and stability with ping and crashes have been basically non-existing. Diablo Immortal is not a perfect game, but if you have truly played it, like I have got all classes to level 60, then you will know that this game has amazing balance. All classes feel amazing, and with the right build and setup, the PvP and PvE feel amazing, and it is really a shame that we saw what Blizzard can do and transform a mobile game into a playable for PC. Imagine if we didn't have to use cheap emulators, but instead we would have one Blizzard application where we can play all mobile games with 10 times better graphics. Then that would be amazing. To be honest, if Blizzard ever needs more money, then they should offer their services to turn a mobile game into a beautiful PC game. Imagine what would they do if they had more time, just 1 month. I won't say that Diablo Immortal is a bad or boring game. So-called grinding is the main reason why you would want to play a Diablo game. You farm monsters, then you get gear and level up your paragon level. For a mobile game, there's nothing more or less you need. And if you are looking for complicated raids, then again, you're comparing the wrong games. But don't mistake all of the positives that I have said about Diablo Immortal, that I think that this game is perfect and doesn't need changing. It's far from it. In perfect world, games would not need to be pay to win, but all that I can say is that look at New World, and it speaks for itself. The game doesn't have a single pay to win element, but guess what? The game had bugs. 1 year before initial release, they went from full PvP game to a PvP/PvE, and the developers, from bad circumstances, did as much as they could. Who knows if there will be ever a game that is zero pay to win and has no bugs with very fun gameplay, but we most likely won't ever see it, because when players don't get a perfect game but get no pay to win, then they will whine and cry, and when they get a full game with full pay to win, then they will do the same thing. Neither player group will credit the other one for at least the few things that they did right. And here lies the biggest problem. So most companies look at it and they have two options. Either way, make a good pay to win game that will get hated, or make a game with no pay to win that will anyways get hated for different things. My closing statements are that players are the customers, and all companies are made to serve the customer and try to get off of them as much money as possible. So if there is not a single perfect game with no pay to win, but there are many non-perfect pay to win games, then maybe, just maybe, deep down inside, that is exactly what you're looking for. Ask yourself, if just making a perfect game with no pay to win would make millions of players play their game and they would make the most money out of it, why hasn't anyone done this? So with that said, I really do appreciate everyone for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback, or if you want to see another Diablo Immortal pay to win video where I explain and go further in detail about what actual pay to win mechanics exist and which don't, then feel free to leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe, and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and you wouldn't miss any more amazing content from me. With all this said, you have an amazing day, and I will see you in my next video, so take it easy. Peace.